Hey everyone, and welcome back to the OurSociety Experiment and today's Making the Movement. In today's Making the Movement, we're going to be talking about how we're going to scale. That's a question that comes up a lot during our seminars, whether they be educational seminars, talks we give about civic engagement, or I'm sure it's going to come up in future OurSociety promotional seminars as well, as how do we take it from this really grassroots effort with a bunch of volunteers, essentially, and transform it into the national program that OurSociety is really destined to be. So we'll talk a lot about that. First, real brief for those of you who've been following along, welcome to my new home office. As you can see, we've got a pretty sweet decal in the background, so I'm excited to kind of be more involved here in this studio. It's got a little bit more space and a little bit more better design for the videos. So back onto our topic of how do we scale the process? How do we scale our society? So let's talk real briefly about just kind of exactly where we are and where we're going. As everyone's aware, we believe our society is a collective project. It really belongs to all of us. And the Making the Movement blog is kind of your insider look on what we're thinking about how we're going to approach this experiment, how we're going to approach this social movement and project. And really, the ideal is hopefully you may have feedback or insight that maybe we don't. Again, we are a team of volunteers with varying experience. So if you have feedback on something we're doing, maybe you have a better way of doing it, or you just want to offer your input, you should feel free to reach out to us or comment below. So our society right now, as you're aware, we're already on target for an April launch. We have 4 candidates on the platform right now. We have Javon Walker, who's a candidate in New Jersey's District 6. We have Peter Jacob and Lindsey Brown, who are candidates in New Jersey's District 7 congressional race. And we have a 4th candidate who I'm not going to mention just yet because we haven't really shot the interview. We haven't done a full commitment on the OurSociety platform. But we're trying to schedule the interview for this week, actually. So we should have 4 candidates, and that person would be in District 2. So with that said, we have a lot of options on how to move forward. We're going to take a very intense approach in District 7, that's for sure. Because we have 2 candidates who are on different political platforms, we really believe it's a great opportunity to kind of let people know their alternatives when it comes to their options for who to vote for in office. Now, again, mind you, we've said it before and we'll say it again, we've reached out to every single candidate. So there are going to be candidates in District 7, District 6, and District 2 who are not on the platform. But that's through no lack of effort on our society's part. That's just them not responding to us. So hopefully after we begin our efforts, our more grassroots focus at the platform launch, we'll be able to kind of encourage them to come on. Because that is at its core, and I want to talk briefly about this, it is relevant to scaling, is one of the big questions we get is, well, how do you should have more candidates on the platform, right? And yes, we agree. But it's kind of a chicken and egg problem, assuming we didn't already know the chicken came first through genetic mutation. We would assume that users want candidates to be on the platform, and candidates want users to be on the platform in order to put the time in. So this is why we kind of call OurSociety a collective project. It's going to be a very challenging grind, really, at first. And that's kind of what this beta prototype in New Jersey is. And that's what we knew it would be, is this kind of out there grassroots effort to grind out there, get users, hold events, get candidates on board, get existing representatives on board just to have a profile, just so it could be a centralized place to communicate with your existing representatives. That's really the long-term vision for our society, is not just to be used for elections per se, but also to have a centralized, uniform, moderated content platform for elected officials in office. So to kind of bring politics directly to the consumer, to bring it to you and I as users. So as we launch in April, this is plenty of time before the June primaries, and that's really critical. It gives us April, May, and then really 2 months of solid effort and solid events to kind of drum up interest and attention towards the OurSociety experiment. Afterwards, the plan is, we'll continue to recruit people in New Jersey, and we're going to stay in New Jersey strictly until the November elections. So once we have our candidates who we assume are going to do well via the platform, and they move on, that is going to give us an opportunity to kind of further our society experiment, get more people engaged, in kind of still in that kind of grassroots level. So when I say grassroots, I mean, we're going to do seminars. We're going to be doing educational seminars in the high schools in the districts to kind of recruit the young voters, the Gen Z voters, the 18-year-olds who are going to be 18 in time in November. We're going to be doing a lot of social media advertising. Of course, content. We love doing content here 5 days a week. So we're producing a lot of content to kind of support that. We'll be doing local meetups. We'll be speaking at any sort of civic tech things we can. We'll be doing a lot of outreach to local community groups. For example, any sort of young Democrats or young Republican organization, any sort of progressive organization, any sort of Green Party organization, conservative organization, you name it, we're going to see if they want to hang out with us and learn more about the OurSociety Experiment. We already mentioned education programs. We'll be working with colleges. There's Rutgers University right in our backyard here, and that has a lot of potential for you to be able to meet with the groups and kind of explain to them. And really a lot of this stuff is stuff we've already been, have been planning and have pretty detailed, but it's kind of challenging to do when you don't have a platform that's A, functional, B, live, and C, has any candidates on it. So at least in April, we'll be live, we'll be functional. Our beta will, of course, we'll have bugs, but for the most part, the main functionality will be, solid. And this is going to give us a great opportunity to kind of further promote and really hit overdrive with our promotional efforts, our event efforts, and so forth and so on. So again, we're doing this kind of really deep grassroots effort in the beginning, just getting out there, shaking hands. I mean, seriously, almost like running a political campaign to some extent. And then after that, post-November, we're going to take those results that we've had, and the idea is hopefully we'll send out user surveys where people will give us feedback, and we'll be able to gauge that feedback and use that to kind of launch a Kickstarter or a massive donation campaign to kind of fund the scaling of the platform. Because the thing is, elections aren't just like an every 4-year thing or even an every 2-year thing. They're happening all over the country at different time periods. So that gives our society a sense of permanence and real long-term vision and functionality and utility within society. And I think that's something that we really need to focus on. So we're going to aggressively fundraise, aggressively go out there, ask for donations, work for press, because we want people to know about what we're doing. At its core, our society, as we're already all aware, is a free and open election campaign platform, removing the money and politics problem through technology. But it's about so much more than that, right? Our society is about empowering more people to become involved in their communities. It's about empowering more people to become community leaders and thinkers. And most importantly, it's about offering alternatives in a system of no alternatives, alternative visions for the future that don't just align with the big two vertically integrated political machines. Visions of the future that take into concept some of our more pressing realities, such as, for example, climate change or massive wealth inequality, or the third industrial revolution, a new near zero energy infrastructure plan. I mean, there's so many crazy opportunities out there that are just waiting to be heard, that are muted and silenced by the big money machines. If you haven't already, check out, just as an example of this, our previous video about money in New Jersey politics, to see just how concentrated the wealth is here in New Jersey in terms of fundraising, and how that's silencing so many people. About 75% of the candidates are going to be silenced and just losing a war of attrition. So we're aiming to stop that, and we're very serious about it. So in a sense, that's our plan to scale. Grassroots, using the results of the grassroots campaign to generate a lot of PR and hype, and then fundraise via like a Kickstarter to really scale the platform up, hire a true team of developers, hire some more full-time staff, and allow us and the volunteers to continue to volunteer and dedicate our time while empowering other individuals to kind of work on the platform more full-time. So that, in essence, is our brief video plan of how to scale. If you guys are interested in more details, just leave some comments and questions below. We'll be sure to get back to you, whether it's in another video or just reach out to you and comment in response. So thanks so much for joining this Making the Movement episode. We'll see you guys next time.